My classmates are going to die, but not by natural causes. The buzzing started subtly, like a trapped fly behind my eyes. It always began this way, a low thrumming that intensified until the world vibrated with it. I gripped my pen tighter, the plastic digging into my palm, trying to ground myself in Mr. Harrison's droning lecture on the French Revolution. It wasn't working. The buzz swelled, morphing into a discordant symphony of whispers, images flashing behind my eyelids. Red. So much red. And twisted metal. Chloe. My breath hitched. Chloe was sitting 2 rows ahead, meticulously highlighting her notes in pink. Perfect posture, perfect blonde hair, perfect life. At least, that's what everyone thought. I knew better. Everyone has their cracks. The whispers intensified, painting a gruesome picture. The gym. The new weightlifting equipment. Chloe, pinned beneath it, the metal gleaming wetly. I squeezed my eyes shut, willing the images away. This had started a few months ago. These visions. I dismissed them as stress-induced nightmares at first, but they were too real, too visceral. And then there was the incident last month, the one with Mrs. Davison and the runaway school bus. I gasped, a strangled sound that drew a sharp glance from Mr. Harrison. "Elara? Is everything all right?" "Fine," I croaked, my voice barely a whisper. "Just a headache. Perhaps you should visit the nurse." I shook my head, forcing a weak smile. "It's okay, it'll pass." But it wouldn't pass. Not until I knew Chloe was safe. I had to do something. Lunch was a blur of anxiety. Liam, my best friend since sandbox days, noticed immediately. He always did. "Hey, you look like you've seen a ghost," he said, nudging me with his elbow. "What's up?" I hesitated, picking at my barely touched sandwich. How could I explain this without sounding completely insane? It's happening again, Liam." His expression sobered. He knew what I meant. He was the only one who did. Someone is going to get hurt. Chloe. Liam frowned. "Chloe Peterson? What, did you see her tripping in the hallway or something? Worse. The gym, the weightlifting equipment." "It's bad, Liam." He studied my face, his usual playful demeanor replaced with concern. He'd seen the aftermath of Mrs. Davison's accident. He knew I wasn't making this up. "Okay," he said slowly. "Okay, let's think this through. Can you see when?" I closed my eyes, focusing on the lingering images. The smell of sweat and metal, the harsh glare of the gym lights, the digital clock on the wall. "Tomorrow," I whispered. "After school. Around 3:30. Liam grabbed my hand, his grip surprisingly firm. "All right. Then we make sure Chloe avoids the gym tomorrow after school." Simple. Easier said than done. Chloe Peterson was not the type to take advice from a quiet, anxious nobody like me. The next day crawled by. I spent the entire afternoon on edge, my stomach churning with dread. I saw Chloe chatting with her friends at her locker, radiating an effortless confidence that felt miles away from my own. I wanted to warn her, to scream at her to stay away from the gym, but I couldn't. I was too afraid of looking like a complete freak. After school, I found Liam waiting for me by the flagpole, his face etched with worry. "Any luck talking to her?" he asked. I shook my head, feeling a wave of helplessness wash over me. I couldn't. I couldn't. Liam sighed. "Okay, plan B. We find her. We follow her. We make sure she doesn't go near the gym. We found her heading towards the gym, her boyfriend Josh in tow. They were laughing, their hands brushing. Come on," Liam said, grabbing my arm. "We have to stop her." We trailed them, trying to look inconspicuous, which was difficult considering my anxiety was practically radiating off me in waves. They went inside. The gym reeked of rubber and stale sweat, the air thick with the metallic tang of iron. Chloe and Josh were heading towards the weightlifting area. "Chloe," I blurted out, my voice cracking. She turned, her perfect eyebrows arching in surprise. Josh scowled. "Elara, what do you want?" Chloe asked, her voice cool. Don't use the weightlifting equipment," I stammered. It's not safe." Chloe and Josh exchanged amused glances. "What are you talking about?" Josh said, his voice laced with mockery. "Everything's brand new." "There's something wrong with it," I insisted, my voice rising. "Please, just don't use it." Chloe rolled her eyes. "Look, Elara, I appreciate your concern, but we're fine." "Right, Josh?" Josh flexed his biceps, a smug grin spreading across his face. "Don't worry, Princess. I got this." They turned back to the equipment, ignoring me. I felt a wave of despair crash over me. They weren't going to listen. "Chloe, please," I shouted, desperation lacing my voice. That's when it happened. Josh was loading the bar with plates, his back to us. A cable snapped. The weights on one side shifted, sending the bar crashing down, not on Josh, on Chloe. Liam and I screamed. The sound of metal hitting bone was sickeningly loud. Chloe crumpled to the floor, her eyes wide with shock and pain. Everything after that was a blur. The sirens, the flashing lights, the horrified faces. Chloe was rushed to the hospital, unconscious. Liam held me as I sobbed, my body racked with guilt and terror. I had seen it happen. I had tried to prevent it. But I was too late. Chloe survived, but she was badly injured. A broken leg, a fractured skull. She would never be the same. The police investigated the accident, but they found no evidence of foul play, just a faulty cable. A tragic accident, but I knew better. The visions continued, each one more terrifying than the last. Sarah, Chloe's best friend, drowning in the school swimming pool. Josh crashing his car on a deserted stretch of highway. Mr. Harrison falling from the bell tower. I tried to warn them, but no one believed me. They thought I was crazy, delusional, obsessed. Detective Reed, the lead investigator on Chloe's case, was the only one who seemed to take me seriously, even though she clearly thought I was insane. She asked me questions, probing, relentless questions. She wanted to know how I knew about the accident before it happened. I couldn't tell her the truth, not the whole truth. Liam and I started digging into Havenwood's history, searching for answers. We spent hours poring over old newspaper articles and town records, uncovering a disturbing pattern of unexplained deaths and disappearances. A dark undercurrent ran beneath the surface of our seemingly idyllic town. We discovered whispers of a cult that had once thrived in Havenwood, a group of people who believed in dark magic and human sacrifice. They had been driven out of town a century ago, but their legacy lingered. Mr. Rees Harrison, our history teacher, seemed strangely interested in our research. He knew a lot about Havenwood's past, more than he should have. He kept asking us about our findings, his eyes gleaming with an unsettling intensity. My anxiety was spiraling out of control. I was barely sleeping, haunted by the visions. My father was worried sick about me. He didn't understand what was happening, but he saw the toll it was taking on me. One night, I had a vision of a mass casualty event during the annual town festival. The entire school, students and teachers alike, caught in a devastating explosion. The cult, they were back. I knew I had to stop them. But how could I, a fragile, anxious girl, stand against a group of people who worship darkness? Liam was my rock. He believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. He helped me research the cult, find their hidden symbols and rituals. He was willing to risk everything to help me save our classmates. We confronted Mr. Harrison, accusing him of being involved with the cult. He denied it at first, but then his eyes hardened, and he confessed. He was a descendant of the cult's original leader. He was determined to resurrect their dark magic and bring Havenwood to its knees. He attacked us, but we managed to escape. We ran to Detective Reed, desperate for help. She listened to our story, her expression skeptical but intrigued. The town festival was the next day. We knew the cult would strike then. We had to stop them. We raced against time, working with Detective Reed and her team to secure the school and evacuate the festival grounds. We found the cult's hidden base in the old abandoned mine outside of town. A confrontation ensued, a terrifying battle between good and evil. The cult members were armed and dangerous, fueled by their twisted beliefs. We fought back, using our knowledge of their rituals against them. The police arrived, and a chaotic showdown erupted. The cult members were arrested, their dark plans foiled. But it wasn't over. Mr. Harrison escaped. He was still out there, and he was determined to finish what he had started. I had a final vision, a vision of Mr. Harrison standing on the bell tower, preparing to detonate a bomb that would destroy the entire town. I raced to the bell tower, Liam by my side. We confronted Mr. Harrison, our hearts pounding with fear. He was ranting about the ancient gods and the need for sacrifice. A struggle ensued. I managed to disarm him, knocking the detonator out of his hand. But he wasn't finished. He lunged at me, his eyes filled with hatred. Liam jumped in front of me, taking the brunt of the attack. Mr. Harrison plunged a knife into Liam's chest. I screamed. Time seemed to slow down. I watched as Liam crumpled to the floor, his eyes wide with shock and pain. I lunged at Mr. Harrison, fueled by rage and grief. I tackled him, sending him crashing over the edge of the bell tower. He fell, his screams echoing through the valley. I rushed to Liam's side, cradling him in my arms. He was bleeding badly. "Liam," I sobbed, "please, don't die." He smiled weakly, his hand reaching up to touch my face. "It's okay, Elara," he whispered. You saved them." His eyes closed and his hand went limp. Liam was gone. The town of Havenwood was safe, but at what cost? I had stopped the cult, but I had lost my best friend in the process. The visions continued, but they were different now. They were less frequent, less intense. But they were still there, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the world. The true source of my visions remained a mystery. Was it a gift? A curse? I didn't know. All I knew was that I had a responsibility to use them to protect the innocent. The town of Havenwood was forever changed by the events of that year. The dark secrets had been exposed, the evil had been vanquished. But I knew that the darkness would return. It always did, and I would be ready. Or not. The last vision came. It wasn't someone else's death. It was mine. A dark figure looming over me, the same knife Mr. Harrison had used glinting in its hand. I did not know where or when, but I knew my time was coming. This wasn't a victory. This was only the beginning.